And good evening, everybody, and welcome to NewsNight Akron. I'm Eric Mansfield. Welcome to a special edition of NewsNight Akron as we take a look at a proposal many of us have been talking about for the last few weeks. Sewers for scholarships. Is it the future of the city? We'll look at more of Akron's teens to stay here, go to college here, help fund their college, and turn the entire city around. We're going to talk about it for the entire show tonight. Here to discuss it with me, Steve Hoffman from the Akron Beacon-Journal. And it seems only fitting that this is Leap Year Day because the plan almost seems like a big leap into the future. In a moment, we'll have Mayor Plisquellic on with us, but this was the announcement a few weeks ago at the State of the City address.
I've decided that it's time for Akron to enact a scholarship program that will attract families to live in Akron. A new Akron plan, the Akron Plan 21st Century. Imagine the results of a program that provides every child who graduated from an Akron Public High School, who has attended that school system for a period of years, with the opportunity for a college degree at the University of Akron, or a technical certificate from an advanced trade school in Akron, because we can't leave people out. We need the nuclear physicists and the polymer engineers, but we also need electricians and people who need a couple of courses or a year, and we want to make sure that we're inclusive.
And joining us tonight, Akron Mayor Don Plisquellic. Great to have you with us.
Thanks, Eric. Good to be here.
This is not an idea that just came up out of nowhere, something you've been thinking about for a while.
No, in fact, it was reported widely back about 10 years ago or so. We were working out a deal to sell our landfill, which would be expanded to take care of all the communities in Summit County solid waste needs. And part of that deal was to have about $10.5 million that we would have been paid by Waste Management. It was the best bid on that property. And I agonized over it because, in my view, this is public owned, but it's a non-replenishable asset. And I was struggling with how do I take that and put it into something that has long-term impact for the whole community. And I came up with a $10.5 million scholarship fund, which at that time Dave Cooper was very excited about. He thought it was probably the largest publicly owned scholarship fund, or would be, in the nation. For a variety of reasons, environmental reasons and others, that plan didn't go forward. We didn't get the approval from the EPA. But I've been struggling with this whole issue of how to take it up a level, to look back in the era that we are in, which almost requires, whether we like it or not, it's just a foregone conclusion that every good job out there, almost all of them, requires a higher level of education than just high school. And we faced this in the past. You know, it was good enough in the 18th century to learn to read and write and then go to the 8th grade. And somewhere along the line, we said, you know, we have a responsibility to help pay for everyone's education, not just that wealthy people have their kids educated. And that was really the basis for the Akron Plan in the 1840s. Highly controversial. What, you're going to make everybody pay a little bit so that every kid can go to school? Pretty well accepted now in every part of our country and many countries around the world. But we established different levels. We require a young person to go to school until late into their teens or to graduate from high school. And it seems to me we're at a point in our society where we need to accept that we have a responsibility to every child to give them that advanced education. Unfortunately, our state, especially in the past, hasn't recognized the need even to fully fund properly the lower level of education. And I think that what I saw was an opportunity following Kalamazoo's great program where wealthy people donated a sizable amount of money to set up this fund. And not only was it helping the young people in school, but it helped the city tremendously. So it was an idea that is old that we've brought back based on the Kalamazoo experience with the Kalamazoo Promise, and we're trying to use what we have as a resource, an asset, and gain the value out of that, which is possible in today's world, and use it for a purpose that pays off long-term for the citizens of Akron.
In terms of the long-term, I don't think anyone questions any longer the value of education, both the technical education and higher education in the long term. In the short term, one of the things about the Kalamazoo plan that I've read is that the hope was people would move in to the city in the short run, which you alluded to in your speech. How realistic is that at this point, that people would move back into Akron, given the job situation we're in currently?
Well, first of all, I think our neighborhoods are as good as any neighborhood out there in the country, in any city. Our size, our age. I mean, I can't say that every house is as new as the new houses that are going up in Las Vegas, but for those people who want an opportunity to raise a family here in a very good setting with amenities that add to the quality of life, this is an excellent place to live. We have great housing here at affordable prices. And I think that one of the concerns that everyone has expressed, including our own employees who have obviously sued us over the residency requirement, part of the reason, and it's the #1 reason for almost every single one of them, is they complain about the school system. But our school system has made some dramatic strides, and we have improved. We're continuing to improve. But I would suggest that part of the problem that teachers have is, I'm a teacher and I'm lecturing you, and you're in 9th grade, and I'm saying, Stevie, come on, you can be anything you want to be. Well, kids aren't stupid. And Stevie's thinking to himself, my father got shot in a drug deal, and my mom is on crack. How in the world does this teacher think that I'm going to be able to go to college? Under the Kalamazoo plan, every kid gets that opportunity, and a teacher standing on their head, doing somersaults, trying to do everything they can to educate the child. The other side of the equation hasn't always been engaged because they don't believe that that promise is true. If we know that, and that child is guaranteed, I think the child starts to pay attention more, and you will see, which has happened in Kalamazoo. The grades have gone up dramatically, the test scores have gone up dramatically, more kids going to school, and people have literally moved in large numbers to Kalamazoo, and I think the same thing. Our community is at least as attractive as Kalamazoo, I might argue much more so, so we have the chance of attracting even more people.